Welcome everyone. You are in the Czech finger puppet craft class today, offered to you by the International Festival of Burnsville. Again, welcome everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you may be. And the reason I say that is because we are recording this class so that participants who have registered who were unable to attend the live class will be able to enjoy and follow the class at their own time once the recording is posted on our website for International Festival of Burnsville. And on the email that you received, the link to our website is noted on there as well. But I will tell you about it and put it in the chats as well. So participants, just so you know, if you have any questions, you can feel free to post them in the chat or in the Q&A section of the Zoom webinar. And I will address the question and ask Doreen, our instructor, and I'll be introducing her shortly. And we'll also look for feedback or anything. So feel free to have a dialogue in the chat as well. The festival, the International Festival of Burnsville is made possible in part by Minnesota voters through grants from the Minnesota State Arts Board and the Metropolitan Regional Arts Council via legislative appropriation from the Clean Water, Land, and Legacy Amendment. And that is what has made possible for us to bring you this class today, along with our many, many volunteers who've dedicated their love and efforts into this class. So today we are here to make some medieval themed finger puppets, a few woodland and meadow characters, a court jester, king, queen, a baker, and a young girl. But before we get started on that, I would like to introduce to you Doreen McKenney, who's our instructor today. She's an illustrator and Czech folk artist. The Czech people love the art of puppetry, marionettes, and theater. And we will start with that. Hi, Doreen. Welcome, and thank you for doing this class today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to do this.
Okay. Let's start by taking everything out of your packet and go through the items. So you would have received in your kit a little baggie that contains scissors, sharpener, and glue stick, and then a folder with a box of color pencils and a stick, and then I'll let Doreen talk more about what else is in the kit as we move along here. So Doreen, do you want to, while we're coloring finger puppets, I'd like to ask you a few questions. And
Sure.
yeah, so can you tell us a little about this craft, and we can start the class, and then we'll just give a little cultural background about Czech Republic as we go through the craft class.
Sure, absolutely. So the Czechs love medieval puppetry. And so the characters that you have in your packet, a variety. We've got a king and a queen, some woodland puppets, like a hedgehog, a mushroom, a bear, who's usually with a jester. He likes to entertain the king and the queen, and a fox, and a baker, and a little girl, and what else do we have here? A dragonfly. So what we'll do today is we're going to pick one of the characters that you see on this page and color it. And then we'll glue them and kind of show you how they move around on your fingers. And then the other two items that we have will be a stage, a backdrop, which for starters would be, we have here that will be colored. And I don't think that you're going to have time to be able to color all of the pieces today. So right now this would be Castle Karlstein. And a lot of things happened with during the time of kings and queens at the castle grounds. And then also a lot of people had cottages. And so we have a cottage. And what we're going to do is once we color both sheets, and like I said, you might have to do this after this class is over, and we'll have a stick and we'll cut it out. And I'll show you a little bit later down in the presentation that it can be a two-sided stage drop. So you'll be able to flip it back and forth. And that's what the stick is for. And we'll use a glue stick for that later. Let's see here, as far as like colored pencils, we have the 12 color set. And I think this age group is really appropriate for just having a smaller set of colored pencils. One thing I want to say, when you are coloring, there's a dotted line around each of the figures. And right here, it's okay. It's okay to color outside of the line. You always hear, let's color inside of the line. It's okay to color outside of the line because we're going to cut that dotted line and you're not going to see any mistakes. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, you may not, or may. They did provide a little sharpener here. If you're coloring a little too hard, which is just fine, you can get your pencils sharpened up. Okay, so we can move on. Oh, Nasima, I don't hear you.
Oh, thank you. I was typing and I didn't want the sound of the typing to
Sure.
be on there. But Doreen, I hear a lot of people call Czech Republic Czechoslovakia. So can you tell us a little about that? Why is that?
Sure. You know, Czechoslovakia was a country from 1918 to 1992. And Czechoslovakia just doesn't exist anymore as a country because it was divided peacefully on January the 1st, 1993. And they divided into the Czech Republic and Slovak Republic. And you also may have heard the term Czechia. And that's the short form for the name of the country, Czech Republic.
Very interesting. Thank you. So what should the children do now? Should they be cutting their figures, or?
They can actually start right now by cutting, or actually you can make it easier to just not cut the dotted line, but cut around a section of it to start cutting, to start coloring. Or you can color just on the sheet and cut it out afterwards. So I would suggest, like I said, just to pick one character, and they can take their colored pencils out and get started. And so that while we're talking, they can listen and color at the same time. Okay. Out, Nasima, volume.
I need to just keep myself unmuted. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen and children. So that is very interesting. So the option is for the children whether they choose to just color the sheet as is and cut later, or cut first and color these wonderful little figures here. And you said we have what? A court jester, a king, a queen, baker, young girl, and a dragonfly. How interesting, how fun. How fun is that? Are you Czech, Doreen?
You know, when people ask me that question, I always say, I'm an American with Czech ancestry. My mother is the Czech from the family. It was her lineage that came from the region at that time, Czechoslovakia. And they came over to the country 1850s, and they homesteaded. They were the first of their people that came to the United States in that area of, which was in Nebraska. And so eventually my mom came to Minnesota, married a Scandinavian, Swede. Yes.
Very interesting, very
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah. And you're involved in the Czech Cultural Center here. You want to talk a little about that?
Oh,
In case
absolutely.
in case someone is interested in learning more about Czech Republic.
Sure. The Czech Hall, it's called it's CSPS Hall on the outside of the building, but it is run by volunteers, Czechoslovak, Sok, Minnesota. And let's see here, the organization I volunteer for, it has an annual um, cultural camp for children every year, and we just had one just this past June. And theater and puppetry, you know, being such a favorite for entertaining and pastime for so many years, the campers, they love putting together plays, puppet performances, going back, um, you know, as far as the puppet stories go. Um, and the building where the children's camp is located dates back to 1887. Where it's been holding theater productions for, if you think about it, 134 years. That's a long time for that building to have been staying out so long and being active. So let's see here. The hall itself, let's see. Besides not only having a stage, they have 6 rolled top drop downs that come down. They're just absolutely incredible to see. And so a lot of times we have events there and people will want to have a certain backdrop, whether it is a Prague city, a street scene, or just a nature scene.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have visited the center a couple of times. It's been a while. So I will look up that website and post that in the chat for everybody. Thank you for sharing that resource.
Absolutely,
Um,
sure.
yeah, it's a great outing as well. And they have a lot of things that they engage the public, that's open to the
Mhm,
public. And
mhm.
many of the events are free even. So,
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because I remember one time I'd gone over there and there were little exhibits and little arts and pieces and books and stuff. I don't remember what the event was called, but it was all about the Czech culture and artifacts. It's art, books, etc.,
It's
music.
it's a fall festival that we hold every year, and we close the street off, and yes, you get a taste of everything, all the culture, food, entertainment, crafts.
So I'm assuming the Czech people speak Czech. Is that what the language is called? It's just Czech.
Yes, the
Okay.
language, yeah, the language that they speak is called Czech. You know, many of the people over there are bilingual. They grew up learning to speak German, Russian, English because the borders were, you know, so close. And a lot of times they were actually forced to speak that language. So, you know, very bilingual over there.
You know, I have a question from a young lady, child,
Mhm.
participant. Ella is wondering if the cultural center performs puppet shows or if there is a place in the Twin Cities to see puppet shows. And, you know, if, yeah, go ahead. And I was just going to say, if you don't have the answer on your fingertips, maybe, you know, we could definitely get back. But yeah, the question's to you.
We have a sister group. It's a school. It's a Czech school, and they do perform puppets, theater puppet presentations. Usually in the spring, maybe once in during the holidays. But at the fall festival, the kids, the children that are learning at school, learning Czech, they will put on a program during the festival, and it's free.
That is wonderful. That would be
Mhm.
something so cool. How often do they do that, you think? You know, I just found the website and I'm going
Mhm.
to go ahead and post that. And do you offhand know how often they offer these offerings, the sister organization?
I believe, well, right now, because of COVID, they haven't put any performances on, but they were doing it twice a year. And then we also have, like I said, in the fall, they have one that's just, it's outside and on the streets, and people come and
Oh,
go.
yeah. I'm sure that adults as well as children would enjoy it. So I'm going to put that on my calendar to kind of have a little note to check it periodically because that sure would be fun. Or if you
Mhm.
think of it, Doreen, just let me know. Shoot me an email and then I'll see if we can get it out to our participants as well who are
Excellent.
enjoying this class. I want to see and just gauge on how
Mhm.
children are doing with their coloring of the figures. And thank you, Amber. I'm reading your note here. Um, she is a detailed colorer, which is very good. So it's on her first one. No, she doesn't need to speed up, Amber. Children can take their own time doing this as well. We've got some time. How about we do a
More
couple more
questions?
figures, and if we run out of time, we proceed, and you can color at your own time. Isn't that correct, Doreen?
Yes, absolutely. And if you have any more questions, I do know that, like the country, people always ask, is it large or small? What's the climate like? And so, as far as the size of the country, it's nearly, just think of the state of Minnesota. You can put almost three countries in the state of Minnesota. They have 4 seasons, just like we have here in Minnesota: winter, spring, summer, fall, lakes, mountains, forests. But unlike Minnesota, they have more than 2,000 castles and chateaus throughout the country. So if you're touring through the country, it may look like southern Minnesota, but all of a sudden you come across this beautiful castle in the distance.
Wow. Is that the same castle behind you that is in the packet?
Yes, yes, it is. This is a backdrop, just kind of put together. It's a whimsical rendition of Karlstein Castle, which is right outside of Prague, and that's kind of where it was built. Well, actually, Karlstein was built in 1348, so we're talking many centuries ago, and it was built to hold the royal treasures.
Wow, I love castles, and I'm sure most children do, and with fairy
Mhm.
tales, etc. I think you have a fun fact about Prague.
Oh, I do, I do. Prague being the capital city of the country, I read this in the Guinness Book of World Records that Prague Castle is the largest ancient castle in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. And then also, when if you're over there and you're walking around Prague, it's like you stepped into a real fairy tale. It just all of the
Fairy
cobblestone
tale
streets.
land, fairyland.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. It just is so picturesque. It has an image in
Mhm,
my mind. That's wonderful.
mhm,
I bet children enjoy it too. Yeah. So
mhm.
what are the puppets? What type of puppets are hanging behind you?
Oh, we have marionettes, and I actually have one right here. Marionettes are usually on strings that we have right here, and when they're pulled from above, they animate. Can you see that? The arm
Yes,
is going up
it's
and down.
beautiful.
So the arms will move, the legs will move. There's a wood stick up here that lets it rock back and forth. And it's usually there's a person standing right behind the stage, and they will have been holding this over the backdrop, and that's where the performance will take place.
You know,
And then, mhm,
I'm sorry, Doreen, to interrupt, But I just
No,
thought of something. Maybe the children want to just take a moment from their coloring and just look up at the screen while you show that marionette again.
sure, absolutely. And you know, the person that is holding the puppet and speaking the words for the puppet becomes a puppeteer. And so once the kids have finished, you know, coloring their puppets and are ready to give a play, then they will have become a puppeteer.
Wow! So you mean all our participants really will be puppeteers?
Absolutely, yes.
Wonderful. How exciting is that, kids? So I'm thinking, just gauging one of the children, Ella had her figures cut out already and
Very
was
good.
almost done with her first one. So, wherever you are, whether you've completed one or completed two, maybe cut out some of your figures right now. Do you think that's a good time to have them
Absolutely,
cut
it's a
out
great
now?
time.
Okay. Mhm.
You can cut their figures out, and while they're cutting, I don't know, it's kind of hard to keep your eyes off, you know, on the scissor, but we also have another type of puppet. And this puppet here is a pop-up puppet. It's on a stick, and the stick is down here. And when you pull the stick down, the puppet goes away. And when you push the stick up, the puppet comes up. You can twist the stick on the bottom for it to move. And then, of course, up and down makes the motion as well. So those are also puppets that you will see over there that they use during puppet theater. This particular one is called Schweig, good soldier's fake. And he always was into mischief. And this puppet actually was one that I designed and made kits for our cultural center group, maybe 5 years ago. And so they were able to put on a play afterwards using Schweik as their puppet.
How cute is that? I want one. Maybe next time when we have another class offering, we could make something like that, Doreen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, looks a little complicated, but okay.
Not so when all the pieces are cut up ahead of time for you. Just a little glue.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. I think we'll give the children a little bit more time to just cut up their figures, and if they have, how many would you say? If they can cut out maybe 3 for now, or
sure. I mean,
colors?
even just one, just so I can show them, how we're going to glue it. And right now I started one. I started the hedgehog. So I didn't finish it, which is okay. And I'm just going to cut out on that dotted line and be right around the same time that they're done, and we'll get it glued together. So now that I have it glued, let's see here.
Well, Doreen, I'm thinking maybe let's just, okay, so that's the cutout figure.
This is the cutout figure, yes.
Now,
and so,
I'm sorry, you mentioned that you put glue on it. Where did you put the glue?
Right. So the glue is going to go on one side of the tab in the front, and the glue will go on the back side of the other side of the tab. And so I'm going to do that as well right now. I'm going to put some glue. Let's see here. One side on the front of the tab, one side on the back of the tab. And once you have that, you're going to just use your finger, one of your fingers, to hold it together and glue the 2 pieces of tabs that both have glue together. And then you can just hold it with your finger until it sticks.
Okay. I want to see if anyone has questions on that as far as where the glue, where the glue needs to be.
And it needs to be a little snug. so that it doesn't fall off your finger. The one thing you do want to do also when you are performing with your puppets is that you place the puppet. I'll have one here. You place it on the inside of your finger, on the very inside of your finger, so that you can bend it.
How cute is that?
So you would
I
have
should have been coloring and following along in this
there you
class too.
go. So you have a couple puppets that you can move along as you go. You know, they can bend, they can turn. So you can get rid of a puppet while one is speaking and bring another one back up.
Fun. You know, the virtual class, it's just a changed world. And in fact, you know, the theme of our International Festival of Burnsville this year was Art in a Changed World, or Art in a Changing World. And so, you know, a lot of children were doing online schooling and etc. and are so tech savvy compared to when I was a kid. We didn't have computers, you know. So this is amazing. This is amazing. And
Yeah, you know, the Czech Republic is very techy and very modern. You know, they have all the devices. So you know, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter. You know, they do just about everything that we do here, and maybe more. I don't know.
wonderful. Doreen, I have a comment from Amber. She says, Doreen, you're a master colorer. Your puppets are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Color pencil is one of my favorite medias to work with besides pen and ink. And you know, you find the more you use the color pencils, you can layer them, blend them. I found that just this, like the little girl right here, her dress pattern, I don't know if you can see that, it's just two colors, it's brown and white. And so I did one stripe a little bit darker than the other stripe, and then I dragged a white colored pencil through it. And dragging the colored pencil, it was able to blend some of the colors through it. So it gives it a pattern as it's.
That is so cute. I bet some children could even make polka dots or stripes or a little be creative. And
we have some stripes here on the desk. Yeah, and I gave it a little pattern, a little different pattern than, you know, it was actually on the blank puppet. So
that is so cute and so innovative and creative. It gets the creative juices going. I'm sure you mentioned blending colors. You know what that means is, you know, say for example, a child colors something in yellow and then wants to add a little green color on top of it. It's kind of interesting and learning too to see what the new color turns out to be. When they have the yellow and green together, it may end up being blue. Who knows? They'll have to experiment, right?
Yeah. That's what's great. This is what's good about this the colored pencil set. You know, starting out with the primary colors, you know, and then they reach out to the secondary colors, adding black and white. And so, you know, when you've got those primary colors, red, yellow, blue, you know, they mix, and they will actually probably, depending on how heavy you're coloring, it'll give it a different color shade of red and yellow together with orange. It just might be a light orange, or, you know, a dark orange. So, yeah.
Wonderful. So, you know, the puppets that are hanging behind you, what are their roles? Like, what is one a little boy? Is one a farm lady? Or
yes, we have a farm lady. We have a huntsman. What do we have over here? Oh gosh, we have a king. So, and these puppets, actually, I have borrowed them from our Czech organization. They've been around a long time. And I noticed when I pulled them out that a lot of the faces have missing paint. So I'm thinking that might be one of my next projects, is to go in and repaint some of these faces. I've done that in the past for our big puppets. Remember the puppets that we had?
Yes. Oh, they were gorgeous. So a couple of years ago, and actually twice, you brought those puppets to
Mhm,
the live in-person International Festival of Burnsville at the
mhm.
Nicollet Commons Park in Burnsville, and they were amazing, amazing.
And
And
yeah, once in a while, no, yeah, once in a while they might fall on their face and scuff a nose.
oh,
So, there's
oh,
always a little repainting going
a
on.
little doctoring, a little
Yeah.
more TLC. Well, yeah, taking it and traveling with such a big piece, but it was
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah, these pieces are 12 to 15 feet tall. So to give them an idea how large they are. Yeah.
Wow, wow. You know, talking about faces and stuff, I think this is a good point to mention, and I will mention it again at the end of class too. If people go to our website, we invite you to check out our website, International Festival of Burnsville, which is INTLFESTBURNSVILLE.org, O-R-G. Click on the tab that says Places and Faces. We have some cool information about Czech on there as well as many other different countries. You can have little virtual tours. There are resources of some little books you could read, from different places. So it's very cool. And on that website, you will also find the tab Craft where you registered, and our recorded class will be posted there along with simple directions and what's included in your kit. Um, Doreen, talking about stories and places, etc.,
Sure.
what type of stories would Czech children listen to or enact skits to with puppets?
Good question. The children that are growing up in the Czech Republic and their parents for many generations, the Grimm's fairy tales. A lot of the stories, that we hear, they heard, and from anywhere from like Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. My personal favorite is when kids make up their own stories. I think
Oh
that
yeah,
is
isn't that the
absolutely,
best?
yeah, it is.
Kids do have great stories and
Mm-hmm.
experiences. So, okay, so I think time-wise, I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking at least most have a couple of figures
Mm-hmm.
colored, cut, and glued.
Sure.
Uh,
So
yeah.
what can we can go on to the next step, and that is the backdrop. And so this backdrop here has been colored already. I don't know if you can see that. And so what we're going to do is get out our paint stick. And Nasima, I see that these came from, I don't know if we talk about advertising, but
Yes.
look at
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you to Sherman Williams Paint Store. Thank you for that reminder, Doreen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Sherman William for donating all these paint mixer sticks for our craft, which is offered to you for free to all participants. And it was in our kit that we offered it for free to children. So thank you. That was a great idea you came up with, Doreen. And I made a call, went to the store, and the rep was so personable and helpful and happy to donate it. So wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Yes, and I want to thank you for putting all these kits together.
Oh, thank you.
But
It was fun. I enjoyed
yeah,
putting those together. That was fun.
very good. Okay,
So Doreen,
yes.
should we give just a few minutes so maybe the children can just color maybe a little piece, maybe a flower or something?
Absolutely, yes.
And then before they cut that out, or
Mhm.
do they need to cut it out? I mean, do
No,
they need to
no,
cut the outline or?
they'll cut the outline. I
Okay,
can show them. I have the two pieces. I can show them how to do
okay,
that. if they
Okay.
want to do it on their own. So, we'll take our stick, your stick here, and I'm going to put the first colored piece on it, and I'm going to set it the stick straight up to the top, not so that it's sticking out, but right up to the top. And then I'll put my finger below it. And then I'll take this off, and I'm going to use my glue stick. I'm going to glue from where my finger was all the way up to the top. And that will give you enough space on the bottom of it to hold it as a handle. And so you want to place it in the middle, and then just give it a little pressure on the stick, and it should be able to just stick really nicely with this glue stick. I'm not on a hard surface right here, but it'll help if you're on a hard surface. And then you're going to do the same thing on the back. So I turn it over, and you can see where the edge is, where the very bottom. I'm going to glue that, put a bunch of glue on the back of that one. And I have the backdrop here that I have not finished yet. I thought I would have time at my leisure too. So I'm going to adhere that to the stick as well and press that down. And you should be able to match up the corners fairly well. And we'll push that down.
And the children may get some guidance from their parents to match
Absolutely.
up the corners, and so really they can maybe just cut it now and follow you with your gluing pieces, right?
Absolutely. And you're going to see that the two pieces aren't glued together here on this, like a seam. So I'll have to put this on a hard surface real quick. And I will put some glue. On one of the edges, which I just did, and then I'll be able to just push that edge down. There we go.
Hey, Doreen, that looks kind of like something behind you.
Yes, it does. Karlstein Castle. Yes. Okay. And so now I just put glue again on the inside of one of the seams. I'm just going to pack it down so they adhere together. So you don't necessarily just have the one seam, but now you have two seams.
Yay! And I have feedback, Doreen, from Ella. She thinks that it is so cool. Her mom, Amber, mentions that Ella thinks that is so cool that you can switch the seams with a flip, just holding that stick. How fun!
Very good. And I noticed right now that I did do the sides, but also if you want to, it will help to glue the bottom and the top. And if you're creative enough and you have an extra paint stick at home, you can create another set of backdrops. I think that will happen too. Kids are amazing these days. Very creative.
Very creative. It gets their imagination going, and what a wonderful idea and craft this is. And what you just mentioned, Doreen, so it doesn't limit them to just this piece of coloring and this backdrop. They can be creative and make their own figures as well. And another backdrop. How wonderful.
And in this heat, they make a really good fan.
Ooh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Wonderful. So we'll give a chance to the children to glue and everything. I'm just going to see if we can engage some feedback from everyone and see how everybody is doing. With technology, part of the reason we didn't make our participants available on video and audio is for privacy and security reasons. So I wanted to mention that just so everybody has that understanding. But in light of that, it is a challenge for the instructor and people conducting the class to Yeah, because we can't see what people are doing. We can't see how the children are progressing, what they need help with, what we need to address a little more. So thank you, parents and children,
Yeah,
for working
parents.
together. And again, this will be recorded, so you'll have it available again. And
Mhm.
you could pause, forward, rewind, get to the point you want to with the recording, share it with others, have your own, little safe get together party with kids,
Mhm.
um, and make the Czech finger puppets with the backdrop. Ooh, look at that!
There we are.
Woohoo!
The finger puppets. I think I have to come down. There we are.
Yeah, yeah, and the feedback is that it's so good to know with the instructions how you illustrated and made it very clear that right from the
Mhm.
start that maybe we won't have enough time to
Mhm.
finish coloring all these puppets or the backdrop,
Mhm.
but there you go. There's more that the kids can do to complete
You
at
know,
the
I want.
time.
Oh,
Mhm,
I
no,
did mention that the drawings are mine, and I always love to share what I can share. So if you take a photocopy of these drawings, of the little illustrations of the figures, and make more to share with friends, absolutely. I'm okay with that.
wonderful, wonderful. So, just thinking of my next question over here. Doreen, what are some popular foods that the kids enjoy in Czech Republic?
Oh gosh,
Cookies, sweets.
absolutely. At Christmas time, it's all about a sweet bread called banuchka, and it's a braided bread, and it's very traditional. Kolache, of course, that is an open-faced pastry. It's round with filling in poppy seed, apricot, prune, cheese. The fillings are across the board. Whatever kind of tree that they have in their orchard, cherries, apple, whatever's fresh in their garden at the time, rhubarb, they will make them into whatever flavor, like we do our jams, and they put those in their kolache. And that is, I think, probably one of the most favorite, well-known sweets that they have.
Wow, you're making me
Mhm.
hungry, Doreen.
Yeah. Another thing that I was going to mention also a cookie called perniki, and they're large. They'll have them for sale like at festivals, and they can be quite large cookies to very small cookies, and they're just beautifully decorated, um, so nicely that you probably don't even want to eat the cookie, but
It is true that some desserts are so pretty looking, you just want to showcase
yes,
them.
yes.
Amber says that this makes it so much more special knowing that you drew the puppets yourself and
Oh,
shared them for this craft activity. That is
mhm,
super, super special. Yeah,
great.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was my pleasure. Mhm.
Mhm. So we've got a few minutes yet. So maybe we can, just as a summary, Doreen, just kind of
Mhm.
wrap up real quick on what people should do.
Mhm.
So like start with coloring or cutting and
Sure,
just a quick,
absolutely.
quick
Mhm.
summary, and that way we have the synopsis.
Not only in the kit is also instructions, but just to even have be able to follow that, even at the age of 4, you might not be reading. Your parents can help you with that. So we will just start out with your color sheets, and don't be overwhelmed by the amount of coloring that there is. And if you take your time, you're going to really appreciate the outcome of the drawing. And then once you've colored them, there's that dotted line that surrounds the puppet. And remember, you can always color outside of the line when it comes to the puppets. And then go ahead with your scissors that was in the kit. And you're going to be able to, yeah, let's get that scissors. Here we go. Those lovely scissors that were also donated. Were they donated? I can't remember.
The scissors were bought. The
They
scissors
were
were
purchased.
bought. But
Okay. Sure.
thanks to all the donations and grants that the International Festival of Burnsville gets to make these possible.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So then once you're done, you're going to cut those out on the dotted line and that glue stick that was also in your kit. Then you're going to glue the tabs. You're going to glue one tab in the front, one tab in the back, and then you'll put the puppet around your finger. Hold the two glued tabs together until they're secure. And then you move on to the next puppet and go on to make sure you get your backdrops done. And then you're able to go ahead and put on a skit with your friend or your mom or dad or brother or sister.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is so interesting. I'm tempted to do it. I look forward to doing it actually with my grandkids.
Oh, great.
Hopefully when I see them next. I
Mhm.
wanted to just let everybody know again that this class will be recorded and oops, sorry, I'm distracted. What is the name of this castle again? And I know I won't be able to spell it out, but verbally, what is
Sure.
it? And
Castle Karlstein.
Karlstein.
Yes.
Castle Karlstein. We'll put it in the email that goes out that has the
Okay.
recording, and we'll post it on the website too, along with the directions. So,
Mhm.
Doreen, I'll have you send that to me in a note so I get the
I will
spelling
do that.
correctly.
Yeah.
And is the word castle in Czech castle or
Castle.
castle? Yeah, we'll have to look it up. That'll be an
We'll look
interesting
at
bit. Yeah.
music hall.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, we will get that. So the class will be recorded. The recording will be posted on our website for the
Mhm.
International Festival of Burnsville. And we'll also have the direction sheet posted on there. We'll make sure we note the name of the castle that's in the backdrop. And
Okay.
also give credit to you, Doreen, our wonderful instructor, for all your time, love, and effort that you've dedicated in this project by your own figures that you've drawn.
Mhm.
And check out the places and faces on the website tab. Have a virtual tour of different countries and different resources. We'll also include the information on the so-called Czech organization in the direction sheets that we put out there and in the email that goes out to you, letting you know that the recording is available. Also look for an email that'll come to you sometime within, I would guess, within a week or two, that will request feedback from you on this particular class. That feedback will help us all learn and improve or better ourselves, know what to offer again should we offer these virtual craft classes again. And with that, thank you everybody for participating and joining in today, parents and children or aunts or uncles or whoever the adult is guiding the child with today's class. Do share this information. We will have a few extra kits possibly, so if you're interested, do reach out to the email that you received and let us know that you have one more child or two more, a friend who are interested, and we'll work with you to make that available for you. Doreen, is there anything else that I've forgotten to ask you or that you'd like to share?
Gosh. Oh, wow. Probably after this is over with.
Yeah, you know, art in a changed world.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for participating. And with that, we will end this class. Enjoy, have fun being puppeteers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Naskladano.
And what does that mean?
See you later.
Oh, say that again. Say that again, Doreen.
Naskladano or Naskla for short, or ahoy.
Ahoy!
Hello, coming. Hello, going. Yeah.
Okay. Ahoy! Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Thank you.